Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy JTE, and that's short for Jesse Thomas Eternal. And yep, I too have got to speak on the whole Kanye West situation. This guy, regardless of his agenda for record sales or if it's authentic, he has started a conversation. A very serious one at that. Interestingly enough, this is the month of May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And I take this very seriously because last month was Autism Awareness Month, and I have 2 children on the autism spectrum, and it's a real thing. You know what I'm saying? I see the effects, the unbelievable impact that it has had on their lives, how it challenges them daily. I have a brother who reminds me of Kanye West. No pun intended. I love my brother to death. And matter of fact, Kanye West, the reason why people are going so hard at you, because they love you. And they're hurt behind what has come out of your mouth. And even more so, we are hurt of what you have become. And although you don't regard yourself as a hero, and you said something about the standards that people set in, let me tell you something. I don't require my heroes, my black heroes, to be perfect. None of us are perfect. I require my black heroes and sheroes to just have a genuine, undying, unapologetic love for black people. Not hate for any other people. And then you know what? That was one of the problems I had with President Obama. Now, people done pumped their brakes on that. You know, to me, I love President Obama for, like, on the surface, for the perception that he and his beautiful family portrayed, that straight up went against the negative stereotype, the negative images of black people. To me, what the Obamas have done for the public, you know, in intangible ways, it's like what Bill Cosby did. You know, the Cosby Show. That was such a wonderful show. Now, interestingly enough, in reality, you see what's going on taking place with Bill Cosby. Now, I don't want to get into that. And I hate that I brought up Obama's name because that's a whole different topic. But, you know, the people in the conscious community know where I'm coming from with that. It's like, you know, your action speaks louder than words. But I'm going to digress and get back to the point that I was making. And no, I am most certainly not a Donald Trump supporter. As a matter of fact, I did not vote for him. You know, I have, and Obama, you know, I voted for him twice. And if it was a third time, I definitely wouldn't have voted for him a third time. Like, I'm disheartened. You know, I am able to go on for minutes giving Obama and his family, and, you know, speaking on the positive points. But what we was expecting from him, you know, we did get. And that's all I'm going to say on that. But, you know, back to Kanye West and, you know, mental illness. You know, I have a brother who has the biggest heart in the world. He's loud. You know, he has his own form of expression, and to know him is to love him. Either you're gonna love him or not. You know, he's a handful. But one day he called me in tears, and I just happen to be one of the individuals that he confides in the most, that he loves the most, only because he claims that I understand him, which I like to believe that I do. But he called, and he was in tears, He just got finished watching Oprah. He just so happened to come across it, and they was speaking about bipolar disorder. And I'm sure he never identified with that word until that particular show. And he called me down and out about it, and I was like, look, all this time you never knew you had it. But you was held to expectations as if you didn't have it to do better. Every time you did wrong, mom was on your butt, or your family or community was criticizing you, giving you the blues. There was times you felt like a black sheep, but through it all, you proved to yourself and to your family that, wow, I can keep a job. Wow, I can hold down my own apartment. Wow, I can be there for my children. I can stay out of trouble for a long period, you know? And so, but yet, I've seen my brother highs and lows, because it's always get to the point where his temper, or he snaps, or someone's not understanding him, and it's like he's singled out. You know, that is a real condition. So, and my brother, I would say he's smarter than me. You know, it's like, I mean, in school, he basically passed on his own merits. Me, I had to get exempt from the math in order to pass. You know what I'm saying? But the way he thinks is just so amazing. He has helped me as a writer because I love him so much. Over the years when we were separated, I used to write him and try to get through his thick skull. And it's like over the years I've learned it's like, man, how many ways can you say the same thing? So it's like you didn't get through to him saying it this way, you say it this way. So my strength as a writer increased just because over the years I've tried so desperately to get through to my brother, you know, and I according to him I have to a great extent, but it still doesn't change the fact that he's suffering from a condition. And see, Kanye West, he is brilliant, he is a genius, and we love that about him. And the last thing we would expect is for him to go off into the deep end and have some twisted view on life, especially as it pertains to the black culture. And it just, it hurts. You know, that's all I want to say. And to me, it speaks to a greater, larger issue that's taking place within our community, the black community. How right now there's a battle going on within our community. You know, I know it's safe to say that within all communities, like it's the world community, and that's all of us, all races, colors, and creeds. We're all that one big community, and we coexist on this planet, and we're still trying to work it out. That's why these types of conversations are so important. And we're only going to arrive at a solution if we continue to be honest. You know what I'm saying? The hardcore, and you know, raw and uncut with it. You know, because a lot of times we get so caught up in sugarcoating the truth or watering down the truth because we want to present the world the way we would like it to be. We describe in the world race relations and all that stuff the way we would like for it to be, as opposed to how it really is. You know what I'm saying? And like in some areas we may never get along, but at least we can own it. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes these issues of race is so heavy that it divides people. But we need to get to the point where it's like, okay, you know, racism, it does exist. And hey, if you racist, I'd appreciate it. You just let it be known. Be real about it. Your racism, your prejudice, and all that stuff like that. And that way we can identify you. And then people can have the courage to take a stand and so we can differentiate between the two. Like in the case of cops. I mean, needless to say, not all cops are bad. But there needs to be, you know, the so-called good cops, they need to let it be known, like, hey, you giving us a bad name. They need to weed out the corruption within their own department. And that's something that needs to be taking place all around the world. Within my community, what hurts me is to see, it feels like the mass majority of the people within my community operating on, you know, from their lower self. You know, we hear leaders within the conscious community talk about that a lot. You know, like red pill, blue pill, you know, Brother Polite, when he was, you know, with us, you know, the jury is still out on him right now. You know, it's like a growing number of, and I guess that's life, a growing number of our heroes are in question right now. Some of them are in question. Some of them just seem like it's without question. They're just too far gone. And, you know, some of them is like maybe they need a chance to feel the heat from their own community to wake up, like, you know what, I never want to hurt you again. It's like it's a relationship, like in your relationship. If you're in danger of losing the love of your life because you gambled, you know, then you got to really act in desperation to save your marriage, to save their love. You know, sometimes the wake up call you need. So who knows? I don't know. I can't speak on Kanye West, if this is a wake up call or not. But one thing, I'm hurt by what he said, and I'm hurt by what he become. But at the same time, I have sympathy and empathy towards his condition. Like, he may not see it, but it's something going on. You know, it's like, it's crazy. And within our community, I'm seeing the same thing. Like when they talk about you, and I don't have the exact terminology, but like when you operate in your lower self, it's like, what's going on in our culture with the youth? You know what I'm saying? It's like, we're heartless. We have no problem. It's a part of culture to be hardcore and aggressive and want to shoot down your brother if they say the wrong thing and stuff like that. You know, like I saw this one video, and it says a lot, where it was these two brothers just chilling in a vehicle, and they was rapping along to some hardcore gangster lyrics. You know what I'm saying? You know, they about their life. You know what I'm saying? Talking that talk. And you know, it's transformative, you know, talking that talk and you living out these characters. And all of a sudden, someone just walked up to the vehicle and shot both of them point blank. This culture is negative. And what's even more negative is this seems just like consciousness is going down. I think one of my favorite rappers, you know, OG rapper Scarface was saying, like, have you ever noticed it? And no pun intended. Like, it's like man, it's like when we speak about cultural appropriation, it's like the white rappers are getting more and more conscious, and then the black rappers are getting more and more dumbed down. That's the last thing we need with all the, you know, lack of education and within the community. That's the last thing we need, you know, and it just hurts. And then you got individuals like Bruno Mars, which I happen to believe that he is not a culture vulture. He hasn't shown me that. He's just an individual who loved our music, picked it up, and ran with it. And I appreciate individuals like him because it seems like he's always giving back. It's like he's always paying homage and saluting. What more do you want? While we got other individuals who, there's a list of them, who have proven themselves to be culture vultures, you know? Justin Timberlake, one of them, you know, the Justin Biebers, the Miley Cyruses, the ones who when there's a line drawn in the sand, it's like, hey, they leave us high and dry. So, you know, it's like, we're all adults, we should be able to have mature adult conversations, because people get all twisted and bent out of shape the moment you start talking about race and racism like you're a hater. And they don't understand, like, there's different needs within each community. And it's like you have to recognize it and respect it. Like what's going on in my household, I constantly worry about is if my children is going to have an appreciation for their own culture and blackness and what is their culture. You know what I'm saying? It's all blurred right now, and so I don't want to teach them to hate. See, that's that middle ground type of Obama talk right there. I'm talking about where it's like you want to say, it's the parents who instill racism into their children at a young age. That's true. That's true. But to me, don't get it misconstrued. Don't confuse racist parents, be it white or black, instilling hatred and racism into their children, opposed to the ones who instill in self-love and appreciation. Because that's why so many of us, it's difficult for us to be unapologetically black. And see, what do I mean by that? It's like an inside joke within the black community where your mama and grandmother talking to you this type of way behind the scenes, and then the moment someone from the school call or someone from the wherever call, then they put on, we call it the white voice. Yes, we're speaking all proper and stuff, trying to have some decency, because it's a turnoff being black. And I'm not talking about speaking ebonics and being ignorant, but it's just like the vernacular. You understand? Another example, I remember the movie Bad Boys with Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. Will Smith came in there with his natural voice. I don't know it verbatim. It was like, "Hey, what's going on?" Whatever. Then Martin said, "No, shut up. You're gonna scare them. Don't be alarmed. We're Negroes." You know what I'm saying? Because it's like the natural blackness is offensive. Now, don't get your panties in the water, because it may not be offensive to you. And by me saying it, then you taking offense that I'm saying that it's offending you. But in the majority of cases, I would say, it is offensive. For how many cases have a child went to school in their natural hair and the teacher sees it as a distraction? You need to tamper that down. As long as we permanent, it's all good. But it's all dreadlocked or froze and stuff. It's offensive. So when you get clean cut and suited up and stuff, it's less offensive. If you're rocking a big beard or it's just. So that's the thing. And that's the whole deal about interracial dating and stuff like that. It's not like I'm against it because it's wrong or something like that. It just doesn't serve our community too well, because in a perfect world, then it's like everything is all good. But right now, it hurts when you see, like, every time you turn around, you see some black basketball player, some black actor, some black whatever rise to prominence, get high levels of education or whatever. Subliminally, it's sending like a heartbreaking message that, like, man, your own black man or your own black woman. Most of the men, I see the men are mostly guilty of this. Black men. They come up, then all of a sudden, yeah, if you fall in love, love is love. Go ahead, fine. But it just seems like all of a sudden they lose interest in the black woman. Like, she's no longer good enough. She was only good enough on the come up. But once you up, it's like get that trophy wife. And some psychologists go as deep as saying that, like, psychologically, black people don't realize it, but deep inside they want a black woman. Like, it's so deep you can't explain that it ties all the way back into slavery. The Willie Lynch syndrome is like light being better. Like, and see, me, the more I've gained consciousness, the more I begin to really appreciate my brown skin, and like even darker. You know what I'm saying? Even darker. Even though I've never had a problem not loving my own race or color. And me being a man, I'm attracted to all women, but uh, it's like I want my children to see their mom and dad and have an appreciation for it. So, so it's like other parents don't know how it feels for you to sit there and watch your daughter watching cartoon show after cartoon show, which we're very selective with it now, but it's like you don't want to rain on their parade, you don't want to take the fun out of their childhood, but it's like you're constantly seeing Prince Charming is white and all these princesses being white, and then you get like, what was her name? The Black Princess movie came out, we bought it for years ago, but just hold your breath, don't hold your breath into the next Black Princess movie come out, because it ain't gonna happen no time soon, so that's why it's crazy, like all the hype around the Black Panther movie. It was so many negative white people who were complaining about that, like that we making a big deal about it. Like, man, y'all got all these heroes that we love too. I mean, I love Hulk, I love Spider-Man, the Avengers, I love the Marvel characters, the DC characters, all the universe. I love all these characters. But it's like, man, it's like the elephant in the room is like, man, we're the ones that look like us. And then when one day you're gonna see a real, true Black superhero character, and that's gonna be the ones that we create for ourselves, because it's always the ones that they give to us. But I give shout out to Stan Lee and all these people who got behind the Black Panther, because even though it got political, you know what I'm saying, that comes with the territory. Overall, this was the best Black superhero movie to date. Apart from, like the television show, like I liked Luke Cage, but this was pretty amazing. And see, before that, we made such a big, huge deal. We were so excited about Hancock that Will Smith played. In hindsight, we realized that he was like a mediocre hero, and that most these heroes, they're like alpha male type of heroes, but we got to get the hero with questionable sexuality. And Hancock, even though they was mashing it with a bunch of jokes, like every time you turn around, he was talking about putting his hand or putting his head or up someone's butt. It was a bunch of butt jokes. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like you save the day, you get the woman. You know what I'm saying? Or like a true superhero. Did you see when Halloween come around? Was anyone trying to dress like Hancock? No, they kept trying to dress like the Hulk, Spider-Man, Batman, all that stuff like that. Now finally, you had children wanting to dress up like the Black Panther. It was long overdue. But I noticed that the Black Panther is like the merchandise was real shallow, and they it was hard. You have to order stuff online, for the most part with that, And I noticed too is like, for some reason, I work out and stuff, so if you get a Spider-Man outfit, the Spider-Man outfit looks just like Spider-Man. Rich, beautiful red colors, rich, beautiful blue colors in the Spider-Man outfit with the black trimming and the white eyes, and the same thing with Superman, all that. But with the Black Panther outfit, the workout outfit, come on now, was this deliberate or what? And there's stuff like that bothers me. The Black Panther outfit, it had a blue tone, and it just threw me off, because I purchased, long before the movie came out, I was so excited about it, I purchased a helmet, a Black Panther helmet, and the helmet was pretty good. Solid Black Panther helmet, face mask. It was a helmet. So how that Black Panther helmet is gonna match off with a blue toned Panther suit? Come on now. So it is that type of stuff. But in my heart, I pray for the greater good of humanity, because if we're all neighbors, if we the black community are your neighbors and we all jacked up, we killers and we all these things that the stereotypes say that we are, you would want to invest in our communities for us to be better, education and everything else, because then you won't have to worry about us. We truly are neighbors and brothers. We can love one another, that way. But in my heart of hearts, I just pray that the conscious level of the black community raises. And the conscious level of the black community raising doesn't necessarily have to be the fund is taken away. Like it don't have to be uncool to be conscious. Everybody don't have to rap like Kendrick Lamar, in some of our favorite Nas and some of our favorite old school rappers and new school conscious rappers. I mean, you can still have the turn up music, but it's just so saturated with it, And I would love to see more productive things being cool to do. Starting businesses, all these billions of dollars that's floating through the black community. I would love to see. It's cool that, just like we're in love with the playoffs and all-stars. I would love to see an all-star group of artists put their money where their mouth is and building these businesses, you know what I'm saying, that they're going to profit from, but the community's benefiting from, I remember, and I'm going to end on this note. This is a small example that can go across the board. Minus all the negative allegations of scheming and stuff like that. But I remember I was watching the Sinetta show, and it was just a crying shame. Like, he was trying to get this news van started with all the money flowing through our community. They couldn't get something as simple. We couldn't get something as simple as a news van for their show. I think his vision was like anytime there was a social issue taking place, dealing with the death of somebody, or there's gonna be active. There's gonna be a throwback to the old school news team where it's like, you operating just no differently than an emergency unit where there's a fire. The fire trucks is headed out, or this incident, the police is coming out. There's the death or whatever, the paramedics are coming out, the ambulances. When there's black news taking place, this black news vehicle is going to go out. They got their own cameras and mics and stuff like that, independent. But we can't do that, and so we still complain about having to beg and have our hand out for others. And to me, I'm not just saying black. I would love for the black establishments to come up, and we join forces. It's like, okay, it's just like you got, what can I say? I'm just trying to say it's not a black thing, because I don't want for the black people to come up for anybody else to go down. I want us to come up without being held down. You know what I'm saying? And for us to be able to call our own shots, for us to be respected amongst the world and coexist with the world as brothers. You know what I'm saying? But none of that shucking and jiving, coon and stuff, and all these people who are delusional and just apparently out of touch with their own community. That being said, I'm out. Peace.